Okay, six-figure months are not a pipe dream. They're not hard to do. You just have to build a marketing ecosystem that has a positive feedback loop. Amazon.com is a great example. For years, they spent literally every single penny that they earned back into the infrastructure that enabled them to have fast delivery. They saw that the one thing that would give them a competitive advantage for decades is next day or even same day delivery. So, Jeff Bezos famously went on it was like a talk show, and he was asked like, hey, why have you not reported any profits? Like, you're one of the biggest companies, you're a billionaire, but you don't make any profit. Why is that? And he was like, well, we're reinvesting into growth. And I'm not saying you have to take no profit. I'm saying he's a genius because what he did is took every single penny and put it back into the most valuable asset that his company possesses, which is the ability to drive same day or next day delivery. As a coach or a consultant or an expert or a thought leader or somebody with a coaching program or you're trying to serve clients, your number one asset is attention. So if you can take your money and turn it back into attention, not just any attention that's in your frame, attention that believes in you, knows, likes, and trusts you, wants to do business with you, you can create a very similar compound effect that Amazon.com has experienced that has enabled them to be one of the biggest businesses on the planet. They took every dollar, put it back into what's most valuable for years. And I'm encouraging you to do the same, and that's why this funnel works so well. Back in 2022, I was able to reach my first six-figure sales months at a 80 to 90% profit margin with this exact funnel. Here's proof. Screenshots and everything, just so that you know that I'm not just like talking out my, you know what. And it's super, super simple. And a lot of people overcomplicate the trajectory from 10 or 20 grand a month to that six-figure month level. But what I'm going to show you is the exact funnel here on my screen. I'm just going to draw it out for you. It's really very, very, very straightforward. And honestly, if you do what this video is going to tell you to do and you implement this process and you're doing 10, 20, or 30 grand a month, this very well could get you to that six-figure or multiple six-figure month mark in your business without having to use any complex funnels, complex marketing software, or having to bring in a bunch of team members and have to spend more time on your team than you do on your clients, and without having to do anything super salesy. It's very, very natural, and it flows very, very well if you're like myself and you like having very natural client relationships and running a business that really serves your lifestyle. Okay, so first of all, before I get into the funnel itself, I want to clarify that this works best if you have an offer worth $5,000 or more upfront. So $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000 offer. And if you don't have that, check out the rest of the videos on my channel. I have offer creation videos, sales videos, other resources that'll really, really help you. I'm just going to talk about the marketing component and how to actually get the audience, get the trust, get the attention, and get people either booking calls or messaging you to inquire about your services, okay? Or you have a monthly recurring revenue offer of $2,000 a month or more. So if you're selling like a $100 to $200 course or a low ticket product, this won't really work that well. This works best if you have an offer of this nature, of this price range. For myself, it was an exactly $5,000 upfront offer. And if I can go back and change one thing, I would have had a recurring component to it because I had well over 500 people go through this program using this exact system. And if I'd have had just a $500 a month, on the back of it, like fee, I'd be making like, $50,000 a month pretty much passively right now, but hey, you live and you learn, right? So I just wanted to clarify that before we move forward. This is not necessarily for your low ticket stuff, but this still could really, really work well if you have like a 997 webinar that you sell off of, or you have a landing page that sells on a $100 or $200 product. This system can still work, okay? Now let me talk about something called funnel economics. Okay, for just a second before I explain this funnel. Funnel economics, you can imagine your funnel like a pipe. And in the front, you're putting in, water, which is basically ad spend. Okay, that's creating attention. And in this process, you're walking prospects down a process to become a buyer. And at each junction of this funnel, you have chinks in the pipe. Okay, and the less chinks you have, the more energy you can flow all the way through, the more profit you get on your ads. Does that make sense? So imagine water flowing down a pipe, and at each level, there are chinks in the pipe. And if you can remove a chink, then that water can flow more evenly here. You remove this chink, that water can flow more evenly, etc., on and on. And what I mean by this is a lot of people, they think about ads, they think about marketing as kind of just this complex, just make a bunch of content, get a bunch of people into your ecosystem. Maybe some people will buy, sometimes maybe they won't. I'm a lot more systematic about it. You know what I mean? I mean, I can work for 1 or 2 hours a day and still bring in $3,000, $5,000, even $8,000 a day in sales because I understand ads, I understand what sorts of content actually attracts clients, and I understand how to position myself online to attract my ideal fits for my stuff, okay? And so I have this first junction right here is the quality of your ad, which we're gonna talk about in this video. This next is the quality of your content, which we're gonna talk about in this video. The next is your call to actions and where you send people, which we're gonna talk about in this video. The next is your sales process, and the final is your delivery process. And if you can get each of these really dialed in, then you can build a six-figure a month business with relative ease. So you can imagine each of these being rated 1 to 10. So your ad being rated on a 1 to 10, your content being rated on a 1 to 10 scale, call to actions being rated on a 1 to 10 scale, your sales process 1 to 10, and your delivery 1 to 10, okay? Each of these, the better they are, 5 being the middle, 1 being the bottoms here, you get the idea. The higher up they're rated, the better the whole system is. Okay, and so I'm going to talk about good ads versus bad ads, good content versus bad content, good call to action versus bad call to actions, good sales process versus bad sales process, good delivery versus bad delivery. I'm going to talk all that in this video. It's going to be a really, really valuable video. You really should stick around. There's years of experience here, millions upon millions of dollars in sales that have gone into this simple framework. So let's talk about your ad. Now, there's two types of advertising in my opinion. There's awareness advertising and there's direct response advertising. Direct response advertising says, hey, if you're this group and you have this pain, come take this action, right? Coca-Cola doesn't need to do that. They just need you to be aware of Coca-Cola, and you're going to buy Coke eventually just because you're aware of it, right? It's a mass product and you just need to be aware. Whereas our businesses, consulting, services, agency owners, coaching, that sort of thing, we have niche markets, niche groups of people we're going after. And so we say, hey, if you're this group and you have this pain or you want this desire, I'm going to show you a way to get it. Okay, so commonly when people are starting their ads, they kind of talk about themselves. They say, hey, here's what I do, here's what I can teach you, here's what you can learn from me, or here's who I am. But what I want you to do is I want you to film an ad that follows some sort of a script like this. If you are group, so what would they call themselves, right? What would your ideal client call themselves? And you want to achieve or you want to solve pain / outcome, then come and call to action. Now, call to action meaning in this specific scenario, the business or the funnel, that got me to my first six-figure month was come check out my YouTube channel. So what I used to say before this got super, super saturated, honestly, hey, if you're an online coach or consultant and you're trying to reach six-figure months, come check out my YouTube channel. I'm going to show you new way. So a new way of achieving six-figure months. And at the time, I called it the hybrid system, where basically you ran ads to your organic platform, like Instagram or YouTube, which I still do, and we still profit massively from these ads. I have a client right now who's getting a 10x return on these ads, turning $1 into 10 for an $8,000 program. It's epic. It works really, really well. So I'm going to show you a new way. So at the time, I'd say the hybrid marketing strategy, and then you list the benefits of your way of doing things. So benefit A of hybrid being you don't have to work that much on content. You don't have to do a lot of not a lot of a grind. You have a consistent flow from ads, and you get the right people observing your content and the right buyers. Even with just a couple hundred views per video currently on this channel, at one point I was getting a couple thousand views per video, but I just stopped taking YouTube seriously for a minute. I'm able to generate, tens of thousands of dollars a week in sales for my business, okay? So benefit is easy workload, right? Another benefit is no complex funnels or, tech or stuff. And then it's super simple to set up. It takes you a couple hours to get going with this, right? It's not that complex. It's very, very simple. And then you would reiterate your call to action. You say, hey, come check out my Instagram page, my YouTube, etc., and I'll teach you how this works. Right here is your overall, framework / script for that specific ad that you'd be launching. And I can go into more depth on how to actually launch these ads. I have other videos on this channel. This video, I'm covering so much high-level stuff. I'll link other really helpful videos on this channel about how to launch the ads, how to structure your offers, all this stuff, but I'm just giving you the high-level overview. And if you go to my channel and you go to the most viewed videos, a couple videos show up. First of all, there's a tech deck video from back when I was 6 years old or 7 years old of me playing with a finger skateboard. That's the most viewed video on this channel for some reason, but beneath that is an ad that I ran. It's got hundreds of thousands of views, and it was just directing traffic to this channel. And I would personally see anywhere from a 10 to 15x return on my investment onto these ads. Because what this would do is effectively, instead of having a complex funnel like a webinar or something like that, my content would be the marketing piece, right? My content would be what builds trust, what builds reciprocity, what builds a sense of relationship with me, and then people would naturally take the next step, which is usually the links in my description or they'd message me on Instagram and I'd kind of chat with them from there. And it's literally that simple. Okay, so the trick here with building a good ad is clarifying your new way. This is what I call a mechanism. Okay, and this is what I work on with my clients quite a bit, is defining what their mechanism is, because right now in the coaching industry, we're going through what a lot of people call a trust recession. And that just generally means that people don't intuitively trust coaches because there's just so many of them, and basically anybody can be a coach, it seems like. So what you have to do to really stand out is position what you do as new, okay? And so, for example, I have a client of mine who's a pornography recovery coach, and he talks about habit rewiring, okay? And essentially, instead of no porn, it's I'm going to change the way that I run my life so that I don't have a need for it, okay? So it's not like cold turkey stuff. It's basically I'm going to rewire my life. That works really well for him. He does like 20, 30 grand a month in sales. Another example of a client of mine, he helps software engineers get a job, and the mechanism that we came up with is something called software apprenticing. Basically, if you get apprenticeship, you're gonna end up in a job. So he says, hey, if you're an aspiring, software engineer, and you haven't yet landed a $200,000 a year job, then come check out my Instagram page. I'm going to teach you software apprenticing. Software apprenticing is better because it pretty much guarantees you a job. You don't have to have a lot of experience to get an apprenticeship. Anybody can do it, even if you don't know how to code, etc., etc. Reiterate the call to action. Come check out my Instagram page, DM me this word, and I'll teach you exactly how this works. You can see how this is broadly applicable to essentially any and every online coaching or consulting business. And the beauty of this ad, if you do it right, it gets you your ideal client profiles observing your content, digesting your material, and into your ecosystem at relatively cheap, because you're not telling them to come register for a webinar or pay for something. You get really, really cheap clicks and high quality clicks at that. Not all traffic's the same. Some traffic isn't the traffic you want. Some traffic's they're just curious, they're just clicking around. This traffic is people who are actually in pain and who actually have goals. And if your content can help them reach those goals or solve those pains, they're going to build a reciprocal relationship with you as a figure. And then eventually they're going to go down your funnel. They're going to buy something from you at some point. So in a 30-day time frame, you can see a 5 to 10x return. But over a year, 2, 3 years of running this, you're going to see a 20, 40, 60x return on these ads, as I have. So that kind of covers the ad portion of this system. You can rely on the organic algorithms to get you reach, but the problem with that is you're going to just be on a content grind all the time. And I don't know about you, but me personally, I've got a kid, I've got a wife, I've got things that I do outside of, just working, and I want to have control over the flow. So my goal is to have a business, to be completely honest with you, I'm not that interesting of a person outside of business. I'd like to just chill on the couch. I like to hang out with my wife. I like to freaking doom scroll reels and send them to my wife and say, hey, did you see those reels that I sent you? No? Okay, let's watch them together. That kind of thing. I'm a normal dude. And so I don't want to have to play, like a character online in order to make money. You know what I mean? I want to be able to kind of control the flow and have say when my business grows or when it shrinks, and have that total control. So ads enable you to do that, and they get the right people consuming your content, because if you rely purely on the organic algorithms, you might not end up with the sorts of people that will actually buy something from. So let's talk a little bit about the content piece now, because the content piece is obviously extremely important, because it's what indoctrinates the new traffic and gets them believing in you, believing in your mechanism, believing in your way of doing things, okay? And it gets a relationship going, and it's really the difference maker between people signing up and people not signing up. It's the difference between your business growing and not. So I've got a really simple framework for how to create content that actually gets you clients, okay? And by the way, if you want to see proof that this material and this framework has gotten clients of mine to 6-figure months, I've got a link in the description where you can learn about the Kaizen Mastermind. It's my private group for people serious about 6-figure months or even $500,000 a month. We've got even some $1 million a month clients in the mastermind. And what you'll learn is, how people have applied this to actually reach their particular goals. So this isn't just theory. This actually works and has helped tens upon tens of clients of mine reach $1 million years. Okay, so it really works. So for your content, there's really 3 types of content that you can make. Okay, and if you make each of these, you're going to push your client relationships deeper. They're going to be more likely to sign up, and you'll just make a lot more money and help a lot more people. Okay, the first type of content is value content. Okay, and this is like what I'm making right now. Adding value, teaching things that have worked for me, and helping you see things the way you need to see them in order to get the results that you're trying to get. Okay, let's say you are a real estate investing coach. Okay, a value piece of content could be, solving what's called a micro problem, okay, that your audience might have. And if you can solve problems for free without anybody paying you any money, they're going to have a reciprocal relationship to you and sign up for your services, no questions asked, because they already know that you can help them. So if you're a real estate investing coach, you'd be like, hey, here's how to pick a great deal, or here's how to, I don't know. I don't know a lot about real estate, right? But here's how to pick a great deal. Here's how to make sure you meet your cash flow goals. I don't know a lot about real estate, but you kind of get the idea, right? The second type of content is personal. And this is where you can really differentiate yourself between other people in your market and you. You differentiate by your mechanism, right? Like I talked about earlier with my software engineering client who teaches software apprenticing. And you can also differentiate with your personal life, who you are. And so for me, I'll occasionally do like a little vlog here and there. And on my Instagram, I'll just show me and my wife on hikes and doing stuff that we like to do. And I'm a human, you know what I mean? And I'm not perfect. And people appreciate that. And I think that's why people want to work with me, is because I'm approachable. I don't seem, unrelatable to people. And my story can often really inspire people of going from, a broke 17-year-old, kid in my parents' basement to today, running a, 7-figure empire online, right? And people really like that. And they want to hear more about that. They want to know who they're learning from. So personal is like vlog or telling your story or really just who you are. It'd be like if you're going on a coffee date with a girl and you don't talk at all about who you are. Like they want to know who they're talking to, who they're learning from, and really what this person is, what they represent, who they are, their different values, and etc. And so a lot of people who run consulting or coaching businesses make the mistake of not thinking about their backstory, not thinking about who they are and how they're going to present themselves online. And if you can kind of clarify your background a little bit and communicate that in your content, that's incredibly powerful because people feel like they can relate to it. It's inspiring and they want to be more like that. And that's what, again, drives the relationship deeper. And the third type of content that you're going to want to make is what's called case study content. And this is literally just breaking down the results of other clients that you've worked with. So if you go on my channel, I have like case study videos where I either interview clients or, I just kind of talk about their experience and how they've gotten to their income goals and stuff with their coaching and consulting or agency business. And I'm just very candid. I give away the whole farm. Like I don't hold anything back. And what's cool about my videos is I get comments or messages from people saying, I don't have the funds to afford your stuff. I know, I'm completely broke, but I've gotten so much value. I've signed some clients. I've gotten growth. And that's how you know that your content is doing its job, is you're actually getting results. So in these case studies, I'm not vague, I explain exactly what we did and exactly how we executed it to help them reach their goals with their business. And that's why the case study content works. And so I'm really hitting all three pillars here. I'm hitting, a sense of reciprocity with the value. I'm hitting a sense of relationship with the personal. And I'm hitting a sense of authority with the case study content. And that's what creates what a mentor called at the time when I was first learning this framework, conversion content. This is content that actually drives revenue for your business. That's, the content piece of this, funnel, this system, okay? It's so simple. And I got to tell you, one of the things that held me back for the longest time and continues to hold me back is this sense of like perfectionism. I would encourage you, just turn on the camera, start doing it. There's really no downside to making content. Even if it's bad content, attention always turns into revenue eventually, okay? We live in the attention economy, and essentially all your job is as an entrepreneur is attention arbitrage, getting attention and monetizing on the attention. Even if your message isn't perfect, even if you haven't clarified your mechanism, even if you haven't clarified your story, even if you don't know what to talk about, make content, get out there, share your story, share your lessons, share your journey, and I promise you, people will be interested. There will be a subset of people who actually want this stuff, and they'll come along and they'll buy something from you eventually, okay? And before we move on to call to actions and covering this piece here, I want to talk about something Warren Buffett talks about when he's picking a business vehicle to invest in, a stock to buy. And he says, I'm not going to buy anything unless I know it's going to compound. I'm not going to buy anything unless I see that time is on its side. Time is the only constant in business. And if time's against you, you're screwed. If time's for you, you're going to win eventually. It's literally a matter of time. And so with this system, if you have a good ad and good content, you have this short curve of growth where you turn a buck into, 5 or so, right? But you also have this long tail growth effect where you end up building an audience and a real relationship with ideal people in your platform. And that creates insane growth. It's really phenomenal. One of my clients, I'll link some people in the description, interviews with clients that I've had on this channel. One that comes to mind right now is a lady named Kate, who she's a anxiety recovery coach, and her mechanism is nervous system reset, right? And she ran an ad on Instagram, a simple ad, and it grew her page like crazy. And it took her from 3 grand a month to 40 grand a month in literally 45 days after launching the ad. And now she has the legworks to build a 7-figure business, and I'm sure she'll hit 7 figures eventually. It's literally that simple. Clarify your mechanism, get an ad up, have valuable content. Now let's talk about the call to action here. The call to action is really, really critical. You got to stick to one call to action for a long time, okay? If you have different places you send people for different things, people are going to be confused. And one of the golden rules of sales is that a confused prospect never buys. So when you are thinking about your call to action, I want you to think about what's one thing I can commit to for a year or two, one place I can push people for a long time that'll drive business for me. And for me, it's my, basically it's just a sales page. It gets people to book a call with myself, shows them our clients and the success that they've gotten, and I'll get 1, 2, or 3 insanely high quality calls a day. And I'll get a lot more than that, but 2 or 3 really, really, really high quality calls a day. Like literally just a moment ago, had somebody book in who's doing $80,000 a month and wants to get to $500,000 a month. That's a client that'll have an LTV for my company of anywhere from, LTV meaning lifetime value, of anywhere from $35,000 on the low end to even $100,000 on the high end for one of my offers that I present, okay? So your call to action is really important. You got to stick to one thing. So for me, it's a landing page. And if you check the link in the description, it's literally that. It's some videos of clients that have succeeded. So it adds some value there or shows some authority. And then it has a book a call button somewhere in there. So you can book a call with myself, or you can even reach out to me on Instagram or text me. And from there, I just get to know people, understand their business. If my models would apply to their business, I sign them up. If it doesn't apply, then I don't sign them up. I just add value and help them out, send them somewhere else, right? So literally that simple. And so I've driven so much traffic to this page. I'll show it on the screen here, booked probably well over 3,000 sales calls from that exact process, okay? The important thing is that you pick one call to action, one place to drive people that you commit to for a very, very, very long time. If you look at a guy like Dave Ramsey, it's like, hey, call 1-800 and we'll sign you up for the financial freedom program or whatever. It's just one place where they send everybody, okay? And if you have different things for different people get confused. They don't check it out. Like if you have a link tree in your bio with like 8 links, you're losing a lot of people. You just need to have one place that you send people that does all the heavy lifting, nurtures, indoctrinates, adds authority, or builds authority for you, adds value to them, gets them to take that next step, okay? So the way that I do it is in a long form video like the one that you're watching right now, I kind of just throughout the video periodically when it feels appropriate and it doesn't take away from the value of the video itself, I'll just say, hey, go check out the link, or hey, go check out the link if you want to learn more, etc. And you've seen me do it in this video right now. Like if you look at my videos across this channel, that's what I do. I say, I'm adding value, helping you out, showing you how to grow this. Check out the call to action, check out the call to action. It's literally that simple, and I have one place I drive people, and it's been that way for a very, very long time, and it's made me literally millions of dollars. So it's probably the best thing you can do is get into the habit of pushing this a little bit here and there. And some of my content, I don't mention it at all. Some of it, sometimes I just feel like it would just kind of ruin the piece of content, so I don't explain it. And I also feel like people are they don't like feeling like they're being sold something, so you kind of have to balance, the call to action against the amount of value. You want to, for every like 5 to 10 points of value add, have 1 point of, hey, here's the next step, right? So that's call to action. It's really that simple. The most important thing is you pick one place to send people. And if you don't like doing sales calls, you don't have to do sales calls. You can have people just message you a keyword and you send them a document that describes your offer. I've closed a lot of business with that. Some people, they want to talk to me first over the phone before they sign up. That's fine. They can book a call, etc. So for me, it's just important that it's one place and you just drive people to one outcome. So now let's talk about sales process, okay? Once you have somebody who's actually interested and wants to take that next step with you, how do you actually take that person from interested to a buyer? And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to link another video that I made a couple months back on my channel talking about the exact 6-stage enrollment formula that I use on my booked meetings for prospects that I think are a good fit. And it's really simple. It's extremely ethical, extremely easy to run. And literally on a brand new business that we launched a couple months ago, like month 1, we did like 30, 40 grand in sales with this exact framework. It's so simple. It drives you through a couple questions you can ask people to make sure they're a good fit, and it gets them interested so that they know that it's a good fit for them. You both feel aligned. You both feel good about it. You sign them up, okay? There's a couple things you're going to want to know in order to have a good sales process. Stephen Covey, one of my favorite authors of all time, has a quote. And he says, it's something like this. It goes, before trying to be understood, try and understand. So a lot of people, when they're selling, what they're doing is they're just talking about them, talking about their offer, talking about what they do. What I want you to do is get into the habit of making sure that somebody feels fully understood before you then diagnose them like a doctor would with a prescription or something with your offer. So understand, and then say, you know what? I'm going to be really forward with you. I know that this could help you. Here's why I'm confident. What questions do you have? But that's after a long time of understanding them. And you are selling yourself. You sell you on them, not sell them on your thing. If you are sold that they would succeed with your thing, that's when they're going to feel the conviction, and that's when the sale is going to be really, really natural. Now let's talk about delivery, okay? Delivery is really, really important because if you don't nail your delivery, then it's going to become your next ceiling. If you get everything right, you get your ad right, you get your content right, you get your call to action right, you get your sales process right. What could cap you and keep you from growing is having a delivery process that keeps you chained to your clients. And there's a really, really common belief that a lot of people have that they have to be super involved to add value. And fundamentally, you guys, that's just not true. It's just seriously not true. Like a lot of the clients that pay me a lot of money, like honestly, it's a few questions answered here and there. I have them go through material that I've made that I know is going to help them. I kind of point them in the right direction. They get the value. They grow to 30, 50, 100, $500,000 a month, whatever it is that their goal is. And I only have to be involved so much. So my time is not the constraint on my business. And a lot of people feel almost unethical. They feel like their offer doesn't apply to this. Like if you have really, really nuanced work with your people and it's like a very personal transformation you drive for them, I hear you that you feel like you got to be super involved, but I've worked a lot of clients through this, and I'm telling you, if you can build a course product or build a delivery container that can drive the outcome, that's how you can scale delivery beyond your time and reach those six-figure months that you're after, okay? So I want you to understand that your prospect, even though they would value your one-on-one time, if you can show them that your community that you're plugging them into, or the course product itself, or the coach that they're going to work with, or the whatever you have that's outside of your particular time could help them drive the outcome, they're going to buy. A lot of the reason why people want your one-on-one time is they want to know that this is going to drive the outcome. They want to be completely sure that if they pay, they're going to get the outcome. But it's on you to help them see, look, these things might actually drive the outcome better. And quite frankly, in recent times, I just had my first kid, and honestly, like, my life has changed so much. I'm having a hard time keeping up with the demands and needs of different things. So I've decided to scale way back and just push community course coach and have my clients go through that because I'm not, I've got other stuff going on. And so my job is to make sure that my clients still get what they need. And so I have community course coach, and if they're going to do one-on-one, it's extremely high ticket monthly recurring revenue for me so that it's completely worth it for me to continue to show up and continue to serve them and give them my time, okay? Because honestly, you guys, so many people cap themselves right here. They believe that they're needed in the process, and I'm telling you right now, it's just not true. As long as your client gets the outcome, they fundamentally don't care if you're the one driving it or not. They just want the outcome. Okay, so if you can get it out of your head that they need you and get it into your head that they want the outcome, then you can build mechanisms to drive the outcome that don't require your time. Now, if you've done all of this correctly, you're going to start to experience the most beautiful thing in business, which is called a feedback loop, okay? And feedback loops are everywhere. Feedback loops drive everything. They drive your behavior, they drive the economy, they drive the growth or destruction of every business. Okay, a feedback loop means one action creates another action adjacent to it, and they feed into each other. And the actions that you're creating that feed into each other in this instance are you're spending money to build your audience and get attention. You're nurturing them, and then they become buyers, and then you can take that profit and put it right back on top. And that's it. It's literally that simple, especially once you've gotten delivery out of the way and you're not involved in the delivery process. It's literally as simple as just spending money to make money. And so your business becomes an asset, a vehicle that you can put money into, and you don't have to think about crypto or real estate or stocks or anything. Just put all your money into your business, right? Put it into those ads where you're going to get a 5 to 10x return every single time. And in order to have my first six-figure month, I only had to spend about $8,000 on ads to do it because it just compounded and it grew on itself like that. And I want you to understand that feedback loops are the most important thing to design into your business model. You want to have positive outputs that feed back into inputs, and it creates a compound effect that grows whether you're paying attention to it or not. So guys, this is a super comprehensive video on exactly how I had my first six-figure month with what I continue to call the hybrid funnel, okay, running ads to your platform. If you want to learn more about how to have, my assistance in installing this into your business over the span of 3, 6, or 12 months and helping you reach 6 figures a month, again, the link's in the description. You can see a bunch of people who have succeeded with me, see a bunch of results, learn a bit more about what it looks like to get my support, and you can speak with me directly or you can just message me. Okay, because I want to help more people experience the freedom that comes with being a real expert in a given subject matter, having the ability to drive outcomes for people, and having consistent inbound opportunity to sign clients who are already, in your frame, believe in what you do, trust it, know, like, and trust you, and are ready to sign up. Okay, 6-figure months are not a pipe dream. They're not hard to do. You just have to build a marketing ecosystem that has a positive feedback loop. Again, reinvesting the profits back into the attention that drives more revenue for you in the future. If you can create a positive feedback loop, quite frankly, you can succeed in any business. It's literally that simple. Every business, Amazon.com is a great example. For years, they spent literally every single penny that they earned back into the infrastructure that enabled them to have fast delivery. They saw that the one thing that would give them a competitive advantage for decades is next day or even same day delivery. So, Jeff Bezos famously went on it was like a talk show, and he was asked hey, why have you not reported any profits? You're one of the biggest companies, you're a billionaire, but you don't make any profit. Why is that? And he was like, well, we're reinvesting into growth. And I'm not saying you have to take no profit. I'm saying he's a genius because what he did is took every single penny and put it back into the most valuable asset that his company possesses, which is the ability to drive same day or next day delivery. As a coach or a consultant or an expert or a thought leader or somebody with a coaching program or you're trying to serve clients, your number one asset is attention. So if you can take your money and turn it back into attention, not just any attention that's in your frame, attention that believes in you, knows, likes, and trusts you, wants to do business with you, you can create a very similar compound effect that Amazon.com has experienced that has enabled them to be one of the biggest businesses on the planet. They took every dollar, put it back into what's most valuable for years. And I'm encouraging you to do the same, and that's why this funnel works so well. Thanks for watching, you guys. Hopefully this has been a valuable piece of content. If you enjoyed, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave any thoughts you have in the comments, and I'd love to hear from you there. I'm pretty active in responding to comments, and I hope that you can check out some of the other videos that I mentioned in this video that'll kind of give you deeper understanding of this framework and of this system. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.